I hereby introduce to you Mr. Michael Veazey.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Delighted to be talking to Manuel Becvar today of Import Dojo. Manuel's got a very, very deep background. He's been out in Asia for a very long time in sourcing products, importing and exporting. But as part of building his own brand and working with other companies, he's developed quite an expertise in things outside the import-export sort of narrow expertise. And today we're going to talk about brand building outside Amazon. So Manuel, tell us a little bit about this. First of all, why bother? I mean, Amazon's got all the customers, right? Why should we bother doing anything outside Amazon?
Yes, Amazon. First of all, thanks again for having me. Why build outside of Amazon? Because Amazon has you, how to put this? Amazon owns you. Amazon owns your listing. So, tomorrow you could do $10,000 a day, and tomorrow Amazon could suspend you for no good reason whatsoever. We've seen it on the forums. We've seen it on Facebook. There's a guy I've read. He's been doing so and so many since 2005, and he didn't have any problems whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, he got banned, or his accounts got suspended. I think now he's got it back working already. But anyway, he lost like 2-3 months of sales on that. So Amazon has and owns your listing. So you don't want to put all eggs in one basket, because it would be silly to put 100% of your cash flow into one investment. You also don't do that. You try to diversify your investments. So for me, for example, today, I think my Amazon revenue accounts to 20, maybe 30% of my total income, and the rest is just passive income, retail, other e-commerce site, coaching, consulting. I have a sourcing company in Hong Kong. So I really try to diversify my income, because even though I know I do everything by the book, there could be some disgruntled Amazon, hopefully, please, no one with me, but there could be some disgruntled Amazon employee who decides to shut me down tomorrow. So that's really only the main reason why you want to get off Amazon eventually. Another reason might be that often it's a race to the bottom in terms of pricing. So let's say you've launched a new product, you're the first seller. Some people see it. Apologies. Some people see it, they jump on the train, and 2-3 months later, you have 15, 20 sellers competing with prices with you. When you have your own e-commerce site, or when you're selling to wholesale, you are the one dictating the price. I mean, obviously, your price needs to be reasonable and within a market range, but no one's going to tell you how many fees you have to pay, and no one's going to tell you how much you can sell it for, So that's also another reason why I think moving off Amazon at some point makes sense.
Wow. So yeah, very, very powerful arguments there. And so there's a lot to unpack here. I mean, first of all, I like the fact that you're actually really doing a big spread of things. So a lot of people talk about moving off Amazon, but then they actually sort of do 95% of their revenue on Amazon. And certainly in my e-commerce business, that is absolutely me, I have to confess. But you've really got a diversification of income. Makes total sense. And yeah, I can attest to the fact that several friends of mine, who some of them do several $100,000 a month, or they were before they got suspended, and it does happen overnight for people. So it's a very real danger, and it's very good that you're being honest about that. So tell us more. Let's unpack that a little bit more. First of all, you mentioned your own e-commerce sites. You mentioned wholesale. So these are wholly different business models, I think. Let's talk about the easy wins first. What about using other sales channels outside Amazon? Have you actually found that any use to go to eBay or Etsy or any places like that?
Personally, I have 2 brands right now. One is Mandarin Gear, which is publicly known anyway, and the other one I can't really mention. But the other side, I'm using, for example, Shopify, as well as I've recently got ungated on Jet.com. Jet has been bought by Walmart for $3.3 billion. So I think everyone can see the seriousness of Walmart wanting to, build their e-commerce platform, even though Walmart has a platform already, but it's not doing so well compared to Jet, which is only like 1.5 years old, I think. So anyway, the second brand that I'm running, I've just got ungated on Jet, so I'm trying to get an understanding there, and I can report back on that. But with that site, I also have a Shopify site, a Shopify store, and that's making quite a good amount of money. It requires a lot of work in terms of SEO, in terms of bringing content to the people. It's part of a shop and a bit of a blog in the virtual reality niche. And yeah, I've also listed on Sears.com, but unfortunately they shut down their seller profile. Their seller acceptances now. I'm not sure if they're still accepting. You could go on to Walmart. Walmart takes a long time. It took me 6 months to get ungated on Walmart. And in terms of eBay, I've tried eBay many years ago, and I was just frustrated with the customers and with the returns, and it was just not so user-friendly as Amazon, for example. Amazon FBA is. So eBay is, for me, it didn't work, but anyone, please feel free to look into eBay. It still works for many people. And then, yeah, again, there's many other sites other than Amazon. For example, like I said earlier in the earlier call, Tesco, I think, has a third-party seller program. Here in Southeast Asia, we have a very big company called Lazada. They are in Indonesia, Thailand, Hong Kong, Singapore, and they're even bigger than Amazon, I mean, at least in Southeast Asia. So you can apply as a third-party seller there, and it's pretty simple. They send you a contract. I even signed up for the Thai Lazada with my Hong Kong company, and I'm now selling on Lazada Thailand, even though it's just, I send in 50 pieces there once in a while, but, it's still making money on a separate income source.
Nice. Okay,
yeah,
so there's huge range of possible channels there. And so tell us about Shopify. So obviously the individual channels like Walmart, Jet, whatever, have their own individual requirements. And I like the fact that you're flagging up that it can take a lot of time to get there. So I suppose the time to start is now to begin to get that opportunity open up in the future, right? But tell us about Shopify then, because obviously traditionally that was a way a lot of people back in the day made money via their own e-commerce stores back in 2007 when Google clicks were cheap, I should say, and the world was young. How does that work in 2017? How do you actually get ranked and get more than like one sale a day?
Spotify, I'm doing several things. First of all, I'm providing content. So I try to get organic traffic by providing content. So like I said, it's in the virtual reality area. So I go onto forums like Reddit or other virtual reality forums. I post content like, hey guys, have you seen the new headset from Samsung, for example, right? So, and then I talk about the headset maybe on my blog, right? So I get organic traffic by being active in forums like Reddit. So organic traffic is one way, which works pretty well. Then I also run Google Ads for Shopify and Facebook ads, but Facebook ads only for conversion and for people to sign up for my newsletter, not to buy anything. Shopify is not the cheapest, especially if you sell a lot of units. But for me, conversion on Shopify is pretty good, but yes, it takes a lot of work. And actually, I'm having someone working on the Shopify store for me mostly because it's just too much work for myself. That's the good thing about Amazon FBA. You don't really have to do much except PPC and maybe send some traffic there once in a while. And if you have a good product, it hits off anyway. Now, Shopify, if you have good SEO, good blog content, good organic traffic coming from forums, for example, you easily rank on Google, actually, page 1 or page 2. Really? That's very interesting. So actually, it's not that hard to rank on Google for, say, I don't know, your coffee press or a coffee-related site, for example? I don't think it is. I don't think it is very complicated. I mean, I have a lot of backlinks through my course and through Import Dojo to the French press. Maybe that's why it's probably at the front. But if I would tell you the keyword for my virtual reality site, I'm on page 1, and that only took, I think, 6-7 months until I was on top. And just organic traffic, really doing a lot of footwork there, actually. Interesting. Okay, so when you say just 6 months, so obviously the timescale you need to be thinking in is months rather than weeks, which I suppose compared to getting things up on Amazon could be a bit of a mental shift. But again, I like your thinking that it's only 6 months and top of page 1. It's you're really growing something for the long term. So